Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Iron Woman. We spoke to Andrea already. Talk the talk. Check her podcast and we'll hear more gems from her.
I did a corporate workshop a couple months ago and I took some of my own advice. So I was teaching some frameworks and I wrote the frameworks, and I've blogged about this in the past, encouraging other people to do it, but I hadn't done it myself. I hand wrote the framework. It was like 5 steps for this and 4 steps for this on a recipe card. And then I taped it right above where my camera lens is. And it was fantastic because all throughout the presentation, I could anchor us. I'd say, okay, so now we're on step 2 of this framework. And remember, we just covered A and we're on B now. And then we're on C. And then again, this is what A and B were, right? I think a lot of people can learn little tips and techniques like that are probably different. Although that said, imagine standing behind a podium giving a keynote presentation. What's stopping you from having that sticky note, right, on the podium as well? There are certainly some tips and tricks that improve our communication. And right now, Zoom is the default communication mode. I've noticed even, and I know this isn't anything extraordinary for anyone, but it's fascinating to me that what would have otherwise been a telephone call is now by default a Zoom meeting.
And people get very creative with the background.
Yeah.
And then others get very self-conscious, like, oh, I need to put the lipstick on. Yeah. Or people ask me, is it audio or video? So then they know, oh, I need to be presentable. But in a way, in my opinion, you always want to present. As a coach, it's my business card. I always want to look good or the best.
Good for you, Suzanne. Oh my goodness. I'm doing a lot of work right now on personal branding. A lot of people don't think about that. They think their personal brand is their LinkedIn profile, their resume, and what they say about themselves when they're doing roundtable introductions.
No.
Right?
Okay, they have to come to me and mirror what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. I have this beautiful definition of the personal brand. You may have heard this before, but I love this. The personal brand is what others say and think about you when you're not in the room.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Many of us, including myself, and maybe you, I don't know, are visual learners.
Yes.
So when I think of someone, the first thing that pops into mind is not the adjective that describes them. It's actually their face. I see them.
I gave a presentation on executive presence at my Columbia coaching program. And I also said executive presence is what you see. But on the other hand, it's also what people will talk about you when you're not in the room. When we think about promotions, sometimes promotions, they will be spoken and discussed and strategized in closed rooms and you're not there. Executive presence is always around you. And especially now with the Zoom meetings, it's even more important.
Absolutely. It's online, it's offline, it's visual, it's reputation, it's all of those things.
And tell us about your blog. Before we recorded, you said something happened to you, and I think this is very cool, and we need to have this in the podcast.
It's funny.
We're all human.
It's actually, it's irony. It's irony. I literally laughed out loud, even though I'm the only one in the room. So I was setting myself up for this interview, and I have this lovely convertible standing desk, so I can raise it and lower it, which I love. And I've been doing some workshops standing, and I find it gives me extra energy. And if I get tired of sitting, I can lift it up. It's also mobile. It's on wheels. It's but it also has 2 levels. So one level where my laptop is sitting, and then I have another level where I can write notes and stuff. And when I was writing a blog about how to prepare for online meetings, I have a checklist. And on the checklist, one of the things is make sure you have a glass of water and put it beside you, ideally on a different surface from your desktop or your laptop, because you don't want to spill your water. And then right when I was getting ready for this interview, this exact conversation right now, I spilled my water. So that's why I was 2 minutes late. I had to run into the bathroom and grab a towel. My equipment is all okay.
That's the most important. Well, thank you so much, Andrea. This was so cool. And whoever wants to hear more of Andrea, so her podcast is Talk About Talk, and we have all the information in the show notes. Thank you so much. Right, so, and, but we need to not say that anymore. Thank you.
That's right. No more crutch words. Thank you so much, Suzanne. It was really a privilege to have this conversation. Thank you.
How cool was it to talk to Andrea? All her insights. If you're on Zoom, most of the time, as we all are, take note what we discussed today. Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday, every Wednesday. Don't miss out. There is something for everybody. And Take It From the Iron Woman is also a book. Get it on Amazon. It's there. It's a podcast and it's a book. And subscribe on your preferred podcast platform so you don't miss out when we have new episodes. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. See you next time.